Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk, back another video today. And today, we're going to be talking about one of the most recent trades in the MLB as the Kansas City Royals are trading for Hunter Harvey, relief pitcher. And, I'm a little up and down about this trade because I like this addition for the Royals. I think this is a good addition for them. This is a guy who has struggled a little bit this year with a 4.20 ERA, but in the two prior seasons with Washington, very good off the pen, 2.82 ERA with a 4-4 record in 2023. 2022 had a 2.52 ERA in 38 games with a 2-1 record. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of what Kansas City is giving up in this trade to get the deal done. And then we're going to go over what Kansas City is giving up. So they are giving up their second best prospect, Caden Wallace, who is an infielder who is or was a second-round pick for them in 2022. Someone who has a 280 batting average with 3 home runs and 18 RBIs and not a lot of play in the minor leagues this year. It is someone who is only 22 years old, and in my opinion, is going to continue to get better. Honestly, I felt like maybe another year in the minors, the rest of this year, maybe a little bit next year, and he could turn into a very solid player. But it's not just Caden Wallace. If it was just Caden Wallace, I'd be like, okay, well, you're giving up a top prospect who could turn into something to help your bullpen be better right now. But it's not just Caden Wallace. They're also giving up. They're also giving up the 39th overall pick in the competitive balance, the 39th competitive balance pick in this year's draft that starts today, and then will be draft. I really, not just to give up one of your top prospects who's actually doing pretty solid in the minors, but also give up the 39th overall pick in this year's draft. I think this is a deal for Washington, in my opinion, that they pretty much won. Look, I think that sure Hunter Harvey can definitely come in and help this Royals bullpen, and he can turn into the pitcher that he was in 2023 and 2022. But they just gave up their number second prospect, who is only 22 years old and was just a second-round pick a couple years ago, just 2 years ago, and another second-round pick that's going to be, in this year's draft. So basically giving up 2 second-round picks, one who's already playing and doing a solid job in the minors, and then one Washington will be able to select in tonight's draft, or the drafts are tonight, but I don't think they'll make that pick until tomorrow. But for a guy who has a 4.20 ERA this season in 43 games with a 2-4 record in 45 innings, has given up 43 hits with 24 runs, 21 earned runs, 4 home runs, 12 walks. Sure is this a guy who in his career has a 3.20 ERA, had a 2.82 in 2023, 2.52 in 2022. But this year has been a very, very huge struggle for Hunter Harvey. So, look, I think this is a great trade for Kansas City if he can turn into the relief pitcher he was in 2023 and 2022. But they traded a top prospect, their second best prospect in their pipeline, who is very young and still has a lot of more developing to do in the minor leagues before getting to the majors. And then also giving up another future second round pick because that's going to be someone solid, you'd think, who could develop into a solid player. So giving up 2 very young solid players. The first one we don't know who that will be. The second one we don't know who that will be yet. Also, obviously we know who the first one is with Caden Wallace. But for a guy who has a 4.20 ERA in 43 games, not a big fan of the trade, but look, I think it's a good deal for Kansas City if he can turn into the pitcher he was in 2023 and 2022 with Washington. But if he continues to pitch the way he's been pitching this season with a 4.20 ERA, I don't that for what they're giving up in this trade. I don't like it for someone who has a 4.20 ERA. But if he can do what he's been doing, before this season, I love this trade for Kansas City. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.